Operation Acoustic Kitty. The $150 million biohack imagine a room where the most powerful men on Earth are discussing the fate of nations. The doors are lead-lined. The phones are disconnected. The walls are swept for bugs every hour. They believe they are in a vacuum of total privacy. But in the corner, sitting on a velvet chair, is a gray and white tabby cat. It's grooming its paw. It's blinking slowly. To the generals and the spies in that room, the cat is part of the furniture, a biological zero. But inside that cat's chest, a heart isn't just beating. It's powering a lithium-grade transmitter. In its ear, a microphone is capturing every syllable of a nuclear standoff. And through its tail, a copper antenna is beaming that data to a van parked 3 blocks away. This isn't a scene from a Bond movie. This was the terrifying multi-million-dollar reality of the 1960s. But as we move into 2026, the declassified files suggest that the failure of this project was the greatest lie ever told to the public. The government didn't stop hacking animals. They just stopped getting caught. Today, we are opening the Catryon dossier to expose the secret history of the cybernetic predator, the surgeons who turned pets into puppets, and the modern Neuralink technology that is currently finishing what the CIA started 60 years ago. You aren't just watching a history video, you are watching the blueprint of how nature itself was weaponized. The year was 1961. The Cold War was no longer just about missiles. It was about the information gap. The CIA's Office of Research and Development was tasked with a singular, impossible goal: creating a surveillance device that could move, adapt, and go unnoticed in the most secure environments on the planet. They looked at insects, they looked at birds, but they settled on the cat. Why? Because a cat is the only predator that has successfully infiltrated human domestic life. We invite them into our bedrooms. We talk to them as if they understand us. Enter the surgeons. These weren't your local veterinarians. These were military doctors specializing in neurografting. The process was a biological nightmare. Using a gray tabby as their alpha prototype, they began a series of invasive procedures that would take 5 years to perfect. They weren't just putting a collar on the animal. They were integrating the hardware. They drilled into the skull to place a radio transmitter. They wove a fine-gauge wire antenna through the muscle tissue, following the spine all the way to the tip of the tail. Every time the cat moved its tail, it was unknowingly adjusting the signal strength of a government broadcast. But the CIA ran into a problem that nearly killed the project: the will of the animal. A cat is a sovereign being. It doesn't take orders. During early field tests, the Acoustic Kitty would wander away from the target to chase a mouse or find a scrap of food. You cannot have a $20 million spy abandon a diplomatic meeting for a bowl of milk. The solution was a horrific piece of engineering known as the biological bypass. The surgeons performed a second, deeper surgery on the hypothalamus, the part of the brain that regulates hunger and thirst. They effectively short-circuited the cat's survival instincts. They created a creature that felt no hunger, no desire for play, and no distractions. They turned an apex predator into a focused biological drone. In the declassified memos, they called it environmental calibration. In reality, they were erasing the soul of an animal to make room for a microphone. This was the moment the biodigital convergence was born, the belief that the brain is just hardware that can be rewritten. After 5 years and $20 million, which is over $150 million in today's value, the CIA decided it was time for the live deployment. The target was a park across from the Soviet embassy in Washington, D.C. 2 high-ranking Soviet agents were known to sit on a specific bench to exchange sensitive data. The CIA van, filled with state-of-the-art recording equipment, pulled up to the curb. The door opened. The Acoustic Kitty stepped out onto the sidewalk. The agents were only 50 feet away. This was the moment of truth. But then the chaos factor intervened. A yellow taxi speeding down the avenue struck the cat, killing it instantly. 5 years of secret science destroyed in a heartbeat. The CIA's official report stated, "Our final conclusion is that the cat is not a trainable animal for this purpose." The project was shuttered. Or so they said. If the project was such a total failure, why did the research papers on neural coupling from that era suddenly become classified again in the late 90s? As we stand here in 2026, we see the echoes of Acoustic Kitty everywhere. We see neural tech companies testing brain-computer interfaces. We see high-frequency, smart collars that monitor a pet's every biological metric. The CIA didn't stop because the cat died. They stopped because they realized the taxi incident gave them the perfect cover to take the technology black. If the public thinks the project failed, they stop looking for the wires. But the wires are no longer made of copper. They are made of neural lace. They are made of biosynthetic polymers. The goal remains the same: the total integration of biological life into a digital surveillance grid. When you look at the Internet of Things, you have to realize that in the eyes of the global surveillance state, your cat is just another node. The Acoustic Kitty didn't die in 1967. It just became invisible. And as we move deeper into the age of biohacking, we have to ask ourselves, if they were doing this to cats 60 years ago with primitive tools, what are they doing to the world today with AI and nanotechnology? The Catryon investigation proves one thing. In the world of secrets, nature is the ultimate camouflage. Because no one ever suspects the cat,